Hello and good morning and welcome to another week in our garden. We're starting this week right down the bottom where the new greenhouse will be eventually. As you can see, the site is going to be beautiful and sunny. It's a wonderful sunny day today and yesterday, and the garden is beginning to dry out. As you can see, I've used all the old bricks up now and we're on to stock bricks, which are the new ones, so life's a little easier for me for putting them up. That's the finished height we'll be at. This weekend Diane and I will take this window out and put the new window in and get that fixed, but we'll have to leave it a week to make sure it's all set solid. Now we'll just pop to the cold frame. On the way we'll show you the progress of the digging. I was digging yesterday afternoon for a while. Nearly there, it won't be long now. Okay, as you can see, that's as far as I got with the digging and putting the pathways in. Might be able to get a little bit more done this afternoon. Garlic and the overwinter onions I've had to water because the ground is getting so dry. These are the other garlics. I have watered them and I've given them a little bit of a balanced fertiliser just to perk them up a bit. But the ground is so dry, I'm having quite a job to break it down. Once it's dried out fast, this land takes quite a bit of bringing back, so a drop of rain won't go amiss. I have brought some of the cabbage plants and the onions down so they harden up in this frame a little. We will water them in a moment, but first of all I want to set some parsnips in the far end. Now I'm going to pop in 3 rows of parsnips for the moment in this frame. I don't think the 3 rows will be quite enough because we ran out this year and Gemma was wanting more parsnips that we hadn't got. So we might have to set some somewhere else. Now, as you all know about parsnips, notoriously bad germinators. They can take up to 8, even 9 weeks to germinate. So, and then you might not get full rows. So what I'm going to do is plant a lot and then we'll have some, but if they all come out, which I doubt it, but then we'll thin them down to 3 or 4 inches apart. We'll keep thinning them. We waste a lot, but then again they very bad germinate, so really pile them in. If it's old seed it won't germinate, it's terrible stuff. And these are plenty late enough really, but the ground temperature now in the main beds is 8 degrees. In here it's nearly 11, so at least it's constant and might just germinate. So I'll finish this off and then I'll show you them done. Right, we'll just cover them up, put plenty and plenty of seeds in. And it's no good trying to save the seed for another year because it'll be no good. So once your packet's open, use them up. Obviously if we had some nice soil rather than this clayey stuff, you could put them in long rows on the garden and it'll be a lot better, but this will do us. I will put another packet in somewhere now. There's the label. Now some people actually mixed a few radish seeds in with your parsnips, and so the radish comes up, so you'll know where they are, because this can take, as I say, 8 or 9 weeks to germinate. We're not going to put anything else in there, so they should be alright. I'm just going to tap them down with the back of the hand trowel, then I'm going to water them, and then I'm going to put a piece of sacking on them. Okay, this is so they're in good contact with the soil. And I brought some water down, which is actually not stone cold, but it's not warm. It's like a tepid sort of water. So I'll water those, then put the old bit of sacking on. I'll water these onions and cabbages while I'm here and just give them a drop. I will be watering them later. Cabbages are doing very, very well this year. I'll just put this piece of sacking over the top. I put the sacking on so it keeps the seeds at a constant temperature. With the air rushing through, even with the net, the temperature will vary. That will just cushion it a little and hopefully germinate them a bit quicker. There you go, all covered up. What I should do is I'll just check them every 2 or 3 days, and then when they're germinated, take the sacks off and let them get on with it. Now we've got some early potatoes to plant in this bed. We'll get on with that now. Now this is plot C, which will be the potato plot this year. The 4 quadrants, or in this case 2. I've dropped it down to 2 for the potatoes. Now I've cut 3 trenches in ready this morning. The temperature is right, we'll show you that in a moment, and then we'll get these planted. As you can see, the ground temperature is 10 degrees and showing that it's moist, so that's not too bad. Now when I'm doing the trenches, these are for the earlies and the second earlies, so it will be, this is a 2-foot piece of wood, 60 centimetres. The trenches will be 2 foot apart, and then we'll put the potatoes in at 10 inches apart and about 5 inches deep. So I've dug those trenches out ready. It's just, I put the line on and then I just cut with the spade and then just pull out 5 inches with the spade like that. You see? Not difficult. Another way you could do it is with a wedge, both sides, and just take a wedge out. If it's very, very wet and you don't want to be digging like this, then put them in separate holes. Just dig a hole for that potato and plant it. The main thing is to make sure they get in the ground at 5 inches. So this way is a lot easier, but as I say, if it's very, very wet, do it the other way. Fertiliser I'm going to use, I got it from Proctor's. This is hoof and horn, because if you remember on the tests we was a little bit short of nitrogen down here, and this has got 13%. It's organic and it's a very slow release, so it'll probably release for half the season. So we'll pop some of this in the trench and then we'll put the potatoes in. I put the hoof and horn in my little jars with the holes in the top and sprinkle it in. Problem with hoof and horn, it does smell a little, so don't smell it while you're doing it. Just to sprinkle in, not loads. It doesn't matter if it goes on the soil at the side, because they're going in and on the trench anyway, but just watch the wind doesn't blow it everywhere. So if we do like this little bottle per line, that'll be fine. So I'll get this done, then I'll come back. These are rocket first early. These are the same ones that we planted in that raised bed over there, but this is what was left, so we'll put them in here 10 inches apart. Then when you get knowing whereabouts your 10 inches will be, it's just a rough guess and you can do it. It's not an exact measurement. Excuse my shadow there, he's a big chap. I'll finish these off and come back. Now that's all the rocket first earlies we've got. The next one we're going to put in is international kidney, which can be left for a second early or even a main crop, but we'll take them as first earlies with those. Okay, I'll be able to follow my line now through the beds. Just keep your eye on if we've got too many spruts on, knock some off. Not all of them, because these are second earlies, you need quite a few of them. But any more than 3 needs to come off. And the ground is very dry and drying out, so we'll finish them off and we'll see if we can get them covered. That's got 3 nice ones on. The 3 rows done. It's just a case of raking over now with, I use this 4-prong hook rake, it's a good one, look. Just cover them up. Now when they pop through in a few weeks, we'll need to cover them again, especially if there's frost about. So the soil between the rows we have to keep cultivated, keep it hoed, keep it raked, keep it soft so you can mound them up. I'll finish this and then we'll show you the finished bed. As you can see, the soil is very, very hard, and as it dries out quickly it'll set solid. So we need to get it covered. I'll see you in a moment when I've done. It's just this last little bit now to cover up the international kidney. They're slightly tighter on the last one just to get that extra one in, but they'll be fine. Cover up. Try and break this soil up best I can, because I know if it dries out quick, which it will today, this will dry out solid. As you can see, look, it's drying now. Then we'll just have to wait for some rain. Now that's those 3 rows of potatoes in, 2 of rocket and 1 of international kidney. We'll look in the shed later and I'll see what wants putting in next. I think we've got another second early to go in, and then the main crop across that bed there. They're in, they're fine. The ground looks a bit lumpy at the moment, but when we've had some rain I'll keep raking it down, especially between the rows, and then we'll be able to ridge them later on. Now we need to set some broad beans. Now we're up on plot A now, and we're going to put the broad beans in on this quadrant here of plot A. Now it has been deep manured, but no manure in the top spit. So if the roots go deep, they will get to the manure and the compost, and therefore they should be able to survive it this year if we get the big drought again. But we are putting them in this arch tunnel. It's been very good. This is the 2nd year we're using it, but what I did find is if you bend it too much it will snap quite easily once it's had a year in the sun. So if you're using it again, do be careful. We're having to put it into the tunnel with the net on because of the pigeons. Now I came down, I think it was early in the week, and there was 4 pigeons pecking at our cabbages. I took the covers off to give the cabbages a breather, and I thought how well they was doing, and I'm afraid 4 big fat pigeons have really eaten them now, and so I've had to put the quick covers on just to keep the the pigeons off them. So likewise, if I put the beans here tomorrow, they'll be eaten. Because what they do when I frighten them off, they just go into the trees around us and sit there cooing, waiting for me to go in for a cup of tea, and then they come down for their second feast. So it seems everything has to be covered up on this garden. Okay, beans have come on very well. There's normally 2 per pot. What I should do is to lay them out to see whether I want 1 row or 2 rows. So we'll do that next. Because I watered them this morning, but we've had them stood a while we was doing the potatoes, so they've dried out a little, but I do have a can of water to water them. So there's the label. We'll leave the label out for a moment. Like you do, it's 1 at 1, 1 at each end, 1 in the middle, then 1 in the middle, 1 until you filled your line up. Lovely plants, and they're well hardened up. They've been in that frame for over a week now. I like those, they're doing very well. So if we go between again, that, and then we'll count how many we've got in the row. There we go. Put the string in. Get the spacing right, and we'll put 2 rows of 10 then. Right, now we've spaced them out, so we have 20, so we'll have 2 rows of 10, so we'll put a line each side of the blue line, and it'll keep it nice and tidy. So what we'll do, if we go there and that, so we'll go 4-inch out, look, and we'll put that one there. Good soil this is. These should be rooted down well. They are, look at that, beautiful. Beautiful. Put them slightly deeper, don't forget. And then when they've grown a little, we might have to come down and put some canes in just to support them, because they will blow about a bit. And we are a bit exposed here, so. I'll do one more with you and then I'll do the line. You can tell they've been hardening up, look, the little bit of frost has just touched that leaf, but that's fine, they'll be hardened up now. They are quite tough anyway. It's good soil. There you are, pop him out. These are the liners, just 9 centimetre. And then I'll just push that round. There you are. And then we'll move on down the line, and I'll get one line in and show you the next line going in, okay? And just 2 more to put in. Then we'll take the line off and put the net down. The soil's quite damp underneath, but it's very, very dry on top. We'll still water them in. Sounds like next door's chickens are having a go. And one more. There you go. I'll peg the net down and then we'll water them. That's the broad beans now in. They might need a few sticks as they grow, and they certainly want watering while this dry weather stays on. Every other day we'll give them a drink. Now we'll just pop up and have a look in the greenhouse to see if it wants watering and show you how far we've got with the potting on. Up in the greenhouse now, it's hot in here. I've made all the vents are open, the doors are open. There's quite a lot of strength in that sun. Now I've nearly got everything potted up. I think there's just some leeks and some celeriac. The celeriac's not ready, so that'll be this towards the end of this week. The cabbages, as they have grown a little, as you saw, I take straight down the garden because they don't want to be in this heat, they'll stretch too much. As you can see, the tomatoes are really taking off now. They're those Alicante that we potted, doing rather well. All the tomatoes are pulling away now, there's a weed in that one. Look. All doing well, they're fine. What I shall do is when these tomatoes are actually potted up for their final time, ready to either go down the garden or be in here in pots, I should do a second set. That will give us tomatoes when all these are finished. Likewise with the cucumber, I've held some seed, so when they're put into their final pots, I shall set again, so when these are finished, the other ones are just starting. And if it's a year like we had last year, we'll be able to get salad crops right through into the autumn. Everything seems to be done. That's the Yellow Delight, they're quite good tomatoes. Everything's doing fine. Those are the money maker that will actually go down the garden. Any spare run I've got, what I've done, I just put some lettuce in it. I've potted the lettuce into any spare pots we have to keep the trays full. Celery, red stalk, that's doing well. That'll really coming on this week. Peppers, and then again that's filled up with some lettuce. First batch of onions, these will go down with me into that frame now. There's a few Brussels sprouts, they're ready for the winter. They're coming along nicely. Nice and steady, we don't want to rush them. Cucumbers are doing fine. I see one of them has got a leaf drooping, so I've put it over there away from these. So we've got 4, hopefully 5. Some more tomatoes here. There, a few peppers as well, the sweet peppers. And then we've got the chili peppers as well, which are over there. Celeriac is not ready yet. And a few flower seed that's just coming on nicely. The leeks will be done, potted on this week. As you can see, everything's doing fine. There's some cabbage up there, some more tomatoes, some more celery, green celery this time. The other thing to show you, sweet peas now, they're ready for topping out, so we'll just nip the tops out. I'll do this one and then I'll do the rest later. And they are, and it makes them bush out a little. And then they're ready to go down the garden now. Put a little stick in, twiggy stick, and let them go up it. But I should do those, as I take them down, I'll take the tops out and then they can go straight in the frames. A little bit more cabbage there, look. That's actually the red cabbage that won't be ready till autumn. So again, it will go down and into the frame. I held these few onions because they weren't doing so well, but they are coming a lot better now. There's 1 or 2 haven't come along, but they either do it or they don't. What's ready will go in, and the other ones, if they haven't fired off, then we'll discard. Now that will be it for this week. The other seed I will put in this week is a little bit of basil, but that will be to stay in the greenhouse all through the summer. But I'll put it in now, so we've got the first batch coming through, and then we'll set further batches. But that's the only seed I will put in for you. We'll try and get a lot of this potting up clear and taken away, so then we can start on the next set. So we'll have a follow-up for these. Of course, there's the cuttings to take. There's quite a few of the basket plants, especially from the overwintered stock in the shed, that has got some nice cuttings on it now. So when we're filming next week, we'll make sure we do the cuttings as well. Then that saves us buying plants, which is always a good thing. So that'll be about it for this week. A lovely sunny day. It's like a summer sky above us, pure blue, beautiful. So I'd just like to say thank you for watching. Many thanks for subscribing, we do appreciate it. And hopefully we'll see you next week. Bye now.